Yo, 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 you got your mute on. Welcome to Full Spectrum. I don't hear you at all though,
You
Render.
should be able to hear me now.
Oh, you're good. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome.
Start my week off with an autistic moment there.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I was like in the waiting room just bobbing my head for like 5 minutes, and then I saw you were messaging me. So we got it figured out. We're streaming live to you right now on X and on Zora. Welcome in, welcome in. Monday mornings, I've got a little caffeine going so far, but I'm still I'm not a super, I'm like not an early morning person. So it's going to take me a little bit to get the juices really flowing, but I think this will be good to kind of kick things off, every week and kind of give people the rundown on what's happening. We did like a nice introduction the other day as our first like test stream that's not recorded, or at least not posted, recorded. So, just as a quick recap, we'll be bringing three live streams on Zora and X every week. Uh, we've got a format out now. I think you posted it on X and Zora to tell everyone where to be, what the format is, what the subjects will be. But basically, Monday mornings kind of like the recap, a chance for us to talk about the market, the news, kind of set everything for the week. And then Wednesday night, we are going to be doing like origin stories essentially with some of the coolest, most based founders we can get to come and hang out with us. We've already got a guest lined up for this Wednesday, and then just every week we'll bring someone interesting that we feel is going to be, that has got a cool story and we want to share with everyone. Maybe ask them some uncomfortable questions and that sort of thing. But have a good combo. And then Fridays, that's going to be you and Jim just doing your DJing stuff. That's like your little playground, right? Like you're going to be goofing around, talking about the culture type of stuff, art, whatever, right? Whatever you guys want to do on Fridays, which is going to probably create some FOMO for me because I can't be there on Fridays every Friday. So I might pop in, be an extra guest sometimes, but that's kind of the framework of it. Like anything in sort of the startup world, it's a work in progress. So we'll see. We'll probably do some experimentation, some iteration, that kind of thing. But looking forward to bringing this new format. A little different for me. I've been doing spaces for 5 years every Wednesday night. So I'm giving up my throne and coming over to Zora and X to stream. So it's a little different for me being on camera, but it is what it is. We're here to level up and do big things. But yeah, man, how are you doing? How are you doing this morning? I know we had a little chat,
Good.
but not long.
I'm good. Technical difficulties aside, I'm good. Um, got up this morning. It was storming outside. It's been a really stormy weekend here. Um, uh, glad I'm not going to have to face that hurricane Jamaica's fixing to have to face. That's some some really bad stuff that they're dealing with out there. So I think that's supposed to be the one of the strongest storms ever recorded. So that's going to be big when that hits Jamaica. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
dude, just chilling and going through the news and seeing what's going on this morning. A lot of stuff happening this week. A lot of stuff's happened this weekend, and one good thing that's happened: Bitcoin price is back up. Um, we're back up to what $114,000 this morning, almost 115.
You love to
So
you love
that's
to
good.
see it. You love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you
So
gotta, Bitcoin's like you know, it sort of like leads the charge, right? So it's good to see a healthy little morning here, a little weekend. We love the green candles.
yeah,
Um,
and if you look, the purple line, the pink line, and the orange line all almost intersect here at the end. I don't know what it means, but I like it. I
it's-
have no idea what it means, but
here's how we do autistic
yeah, gotta be good.
analytics right here. Like we see green, that's good. The market's having fun. It this has been probably the weirdest little bull run we've had in a while. And I've been living on base, so my perspective is very focused on what's happening on base. But um, It's been a weird one, right? Like the metas have all been just odd. The way that the institutional money's coming in, but there's like a huge lag with the consumer side, the retail side. Oh, it's still weird. It's
Yeah,
been weird.
we'll have to dive into micro strategy one day. I hear people on the timeline bitching about micro strategy all the time because it's hilarious that Bitcoin is always up, but micro strategy somehow is always down. Their stock is always down somehow, which
Uh-oh.
is totally bizarre. Um, but yeah, Bitcoin is uh it's the daddy of them all. So we gotta have Bitcoin up to keep this train moving.
Yeah, it's like the signal to the world too. I mean, some people don't even think about other alts or memes or any of that kind of stuff. They just all they know is Bitcoin. So we kind of need it to always be out there, and love to see the chart looking good today. Who you
Yeah,
got next?
when did you buy your first Bitcoin?
I still haven't bought any Bitcoin.
You've never had Bitcoin.
I'm just kidding. I think I pulled up my coin. I bought it on Coinbase. I bought Bitcoin. It was like probably like 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. I was definitely late to the party. I do remember my buddy way back saying to me and his girlfriend at the time, "Hey, I found this stuff I can use to buy shrooms." And he's like, "I could get a whole bunch of it for like $1,500, and then we can get shrooms, blah blah blah." He was gonna buy like $1,500 in Bitcoin. He was like a construction worker at the time, and like his girlfriend who's now his wife. His girlfriend was like, "Fuck no, like you're not buying that shit."
The normal people out there in the world, they don't realize that cryptocurrency is just financial rehab for former drug users. That's all it is. So,
But
um,
no, think about that. It was like, I think Bitcoin was like, God, it had to be in the dollars still when he was saying that. And he sits in his garage sometimes and we hang out. He's like, can you imagine if I would have even just saved like, like 100 of those, like where I'd be right now? So I don't know, just funny. But yeah, I remember buying it on Coinbase. I think I bought Litecoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin or something like that, just to start learning about it. And I think I watched it must like go to zero at one point, and I was like, "Well, that was stupid."
bro,
And that was bad.
I was all in on Vertcoin. If you remember Vertcoin, so there was the three big ones were Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Vertcoin.
Mm,
So Litecoin and Vertcoin were two forks off Bitcoin, and Vertcoin was the people's token, and you could still mine it with your desktop setup. You didn't have to have any special equipment. You could still mine it every day. It was when Bitcoin was, I don't know, headed toward 10,000 for the first time. I think Litecoin was somewhere around $100, but you could still buy Vertcoin for like, I don't know, $4 or $5.
yeah.
And I'm gonna be
Where
honest,
is
I need to dig into what happened to Vertcoin
I
because
say,
I
where
actually
where are
thought
they
it was a
now?
cool project. I have no clue. Evidently nowhere,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, it was a cool project. I still have a wallet full of it somewhere, I think. Um,
See,
but
that could
yeah,
have been they could have if they would have made it, that's one of those wallets you'll like
yeah,
find and holy crap, it's
absolutely,
like
absolutely.
$1 million in
Matter of
there.
fact, I was cleaning some of these USB drives yesterday. I was going through a bunch of USB drives that have been in a box for like years, and I found a wallet full of more XRP from pre-sale, a wallet full of more Stellar from pre-sale, um, several other tokens that went to zero. But uh, yeah, I got to restore those wallets and see if I can retire and not have to do this next week. But
Oh, okay.
we'll find out.
Well,
Um,
this has been a fun
it's been
adventure
a
with
fun
you.
journey, all
We
one
got
day of
one
it.
episode in, yeah, and he's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I found an XRP wallet, I'm out."
yeah,
I mean, I don't know what that pre-sale was.
yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna shell all my XRP to the boomers on TikTok.
well, I mean, we can flip this around. I mean, we got the beard, the gray
Yeah,
beard going. Like we
yeah.
probably fit right in over there on XRP.
Yeah,
Um,
it feels like that a lot of times. It feels like this whole Web3 Twitter and crypto and things like that, or X. It does feel like a young man's game a lot of times. These guys trading and they're killing it and they're in their mid 20s and you're just like, man, they're just killing it. And so but they don't have the life experience. We have the life experience.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
but while
I
we're
mean,
talking about go ahead.
I would say they haven't learned from all the failures yet. They got
Oh
to get
no,
back.
they haven't fucked up enough yet. Not near enough yet. And so
They haven't been through the ringer yet, so they'll get
yeah.
rinsed. Hopefully they'll stick around, because that's been my thing lately is like, can we just let some of these new folks, these young folks coming in, people coming in from the retail side, can we just like not rinse and repeat these people? Like, can we give them a chance to stick around a bit? But yeah, let's move to the next exciting chart. I know
I
you got
think
a couple.
one more thing I wanted to add on Bitcoin is I saw this morning that do you remember when tipping Dogecoin was such a big thing on Twitter and
Yeah.
everybody had their wallet address and this and that? I think I saw that the social platform Rumble is adding Bitcoin tipping into their platform. Um, I guess I'm not enough. I don't follow Bitcoin tech enough. I don't pay attention to the Bitcoin ecosystem very much at all. Um, Bitcoin fees to me have always been really high. So I don't know how they handled that as far as tipping goes. And to be honest with you, I'm not a Rumble user. I think I watched a speech on there one time, but that was it. Are you a Rumble user?
I was actually going to check while we're on here, because I haven't
Isn't
looked.
that like is it like the YouTube of conservatism? Is that
Yeah,
what Rumble is?
yeah, pretty much. I had a Rumble account, and I was going to say I probably still have stuff on there I need to go clean up before someone finds it.
Not
But
so nice. Well, we'll make sure they find it after this and cancel us. So
I'll
again,
cancel.
great
That's
first episode and last episode. See you guys
yeah.
later.
But yeah, no, Rumble basically is, so back in like what, 20, I'd say 2019, 2020, I believe it was 2020, there was a whole lot of election questions, and uh there was a lot of censorship with COVID, a lot of censorship with the election. And so Rumble had a nice, like, sort of opportunity to step in and say, hey, we're the censor free, YouTube. So a lot of people went over there. I don't know how they've been. I haven't been on there for years, but so I don't know where they're at. But that's pretty cool that they're, embracing crypto, adding Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The more and more that happens, the better. Um, so what do we got now? We got the see, you called the Bitcoin the daddy of them all. This one's my daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This
So
this
yeah,
one really tells me
ETH is
what's
doing
going
good. ETH is doing good the last couple of days, back up. You can see all their little color squiggly lines meet again. Again, I don't know what it means, but I like it. It should be good when all the colored lines meet.
Yeah.
It means the coin's going to go up or down, one or the other. We're going to have to get a technical analyst for Mondays who can actually explain this shit, because we can't.
No,
Because we're
here, dude, you got like a little you got one of those like on-screen markers we can do. All you got to do is draw a little triangle right there at the end, like a line across the bottom, and then a line from the top point there down towards the bottom, and it'll all intersect with those squiggly lines, and everybody will be like, "Oh, perfect." Yeah, and then you just draw like a
maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should just hook my tablet up to the computer, and every time we pull this screen up, I can see what kind of animal shape I can make out of it.
that looks like a dinosaur to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
it's
see,
probably some kind of dinosaur. But anyway, yeah, ETH is up again. That's good. We've had kind of this sideways trading for a minute now, since since 1st of August, roughly trading sideways here.
hmm
When you
it
go
does look
back to
like it's
this,
going left to right to me, like a bit.
yeah, yeah. So that's good. We'll take trading sideways over going down for a while. Um,
I always like it. Yeah, I like to see it. You know, the biggest, indicator for me is not the chart, it's the volume. So that's where I like to see. I like to look at the bottom, like
Bro,
where's the number?
speaking of charts and volume, let's take a look at this one. Um, let's see here. Let's look at that one,
What do we
because
got?
that's a chart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
know,
So
I know there's a lot happening in the news, but man, the story behind Clanker right now. Yeah, this is where we get excited. I like they updated their deck banner. Do you see it? It kind of fits our theme.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We win together. Yeah.
But look
Right.
how look at the level of artwork they put
That's
into
high
that.
end, bro. That's high end stuff. Like, when Sartoshi came out with motherfuckers, like that art just is, people like it. People like this this art,
Well,
So
you can't what you can't deny is that it's handmade. Like
yeah,
there's no AI, there's no, corporate shill making that artwork. That's a real live person, that with the
right,
hand, a
right,
steady hand, with
right.
that.
Yeah, AI can't pull that off. Not a
No,
chance.
no.
So
And the chart looks the same. I mean, it's like kind of like every other chart for a while, just especially on base, like kind of just chilling,
so
staying
so tell
steady.
me, tell me. So I've never. I know this sounds so sad, because I tend to focus on very specific areas in crypto and blockchain and Web3 and all of those things. I focus on very specific areas, and so uh, Clanker was. I know you told me about Clanker about a year and a half ago, and uh, other than being a launch pad, I don't know much about it. Tell me about Clanker.
They clank. They just clank.
Like,
But yeah, they so
like
basically, they're the I'd say, and I don't want to throw anybody else under the bus, but like they're the top launch pad, right? On base. And they're not, you might have some people that are like, what's the difference between this and a pump fund? But to me, they're very different sort of vibe and direction as far as the launchpad side goes. They put together some pretty awesome tools. They sort of developed more on the Farcaster side. Um, they kind of came from there. You mentioned MFers, ironically, a lot of if you ever look at who's talking about Clanker, who has been for the past year, you'll probably notice that there's a lot of MFer PFPs, and that's because they were very like Jack himself is an MFer. Like they're all MFers, so it's kind of funny you brought them up. But the launch pad, and then of course I think there's this like really tight relationship with the banker side as well, even though they're different teams. Like launching tokens on the timeline became a big thing. They've just done a lot of really cool stuff. They're open source. All their they had V3, now they have V4. Like they've moved and they moved with the technology. I've met them a couple times. Most recently at On-Chain Summit, um, and just a really cool team. Like they're very open to working with other launch pads, which is interesting. They're very open to working with other teams. We saw a story about Rainbow trying to essentially acquire them, and that was a big deal. And it was very at that time I was like, man, what's going on? Like they were just seeing like Jack like basically being like, nah, we're not doing that. I was like, man, that's a big move to like just not even entertain. And now we know why, because they were probably already talking to the Farcaster team, and now that they've essentially merged, and you see the chart, man, like the teams have combined. The tech is being built directly into Farcaster now. They're doing stuff with the token, burning it, using the fees. I think they were making like, I don't know, $100,000 a day or something like that in fees. And they're doing I don't know, man. I haven't kept up 100% if you can't tell, but like they're burning tokens, I don't know, man. The whole Clanker ecosystem is doing great right now. They're listed on Coinbase. We got Noise, we got Banker, we've got one of my sort of like hidden gems over there with Dimes, a bunch of just wonderful tokens that have come out of the Clanker universe. And yeah, I'd say like at the core, man, this is they embody the base sort of mantra, the closest out of all the different uh technically not base teams, right? Like there's Flaunch is another launch pad. It's also like in my opinion really dope. um and there's a number of others that I've met and talked to over the past few years that they're doing cool stuff. But yeah, man, Clanker's the front runner on base by far. And moving into the broader ecosystem, we see a lot of I saw we had Kook and a few other kind of like the people that have been kind of ignoring base or like even talking down about base. Now they're all coming over, and I think Clanker's a big part of that. That token action you see there attracts a lot of attention.
right. When nobody's going to miss the opportunity opportunity to extract or farm, everybody's going to extract and farm as much as they can. And so, that does come back to the base ecosystem whenever we talk about uh, all the stuff happening with Clinker being acquired, and then you know uh, the $34 billion evaluation of the potential airdrop, and who's going to get that and where that's going to go to. And so I think there's going to be a ton more people come over to base and try to farm that. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I think Jesse's never even confirmed that base is gonna have a token, just that they're exploring it, which
Oh,
I
it's
think means that they're gonna have it, because you can't
yeah.
say that without
I,
having it.
I think they pretty much have like it's on, dude, because like he's interact like even the kook thing, like he basically the reason why that all happened where I think you saw Jesse like embraced his post and all that the other day. So he put out like a post. It was actually a pretty good one. Uh Maybe he got help with it. I don't know. No
Somebody
shade.
Jesse post now.
I don't know, man. But Kook was posting and he basically was talking about damn man, my brain just fried like right then and there. Essentially how things are happening on base with Clanker and Zora, and just like sort of seeing the writing on the wall. Man, I don't know where I was going with that, dude. I was literally just about to mention something, and uh,
Yeah,
oh man, you guys
yeah. I
just
mean,
saw my brain just shut down, man. Hold on, I'm
yeah,
gonna get some more
I've seen a
caffeine.
lot of it on the timeline. I've seen Jesse engaging with a lot of new people. I've seen him giving away a lot of base app invite
Oh,
codes in the last
oh,
2
it
days.
was the coin. So basically, sorry. Basically, Kook was asking in the post, like, "Hey, here's what I think you got to do to farm the airdrop." And he talks about Zora and he talks about,
Yeah,
making a creator coin and all of that. And then he's like, can Brian or Jesse give me a sign that I'm on the right track here? And then all of a sudden they start engaging with them,
right.
and we see what we saw. So I think that was their way of, in a roundabout way, being like, yeah, Zora is probably a good, and a good place to get something going, if you're looking at the airdrop side of things. But that's right. Sorry, that's where my brain was going, and I just completely
Yeah.
lost track of it.
Yeah, no, it's Jesse was getting reamed on the timeline for the last few weeks, and uh, of course this podcast is not going to just be about base. It's just we spend a lot of time on base lately, and base is probably the most important thing in the news this week in Web3 as far as chains go, and so Jesse's taken a lot of shit, and even what project was it that was just reaming him this week? Chilled House.
Oh, that turned into a whole. I
Yeah,
don't even. Sometimes you wonder if stuff is just like sort of like teed up, for
yeah,
them to
yeah.
do stuff. Because
Negative engage FOMO or FUD engagement. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
it's possible because
yeah.
they basically played right into it, or it's just like, man, it's hard to beat Jesse, because even if he's wrong about something, or like he's got the wrong take or whatever you want to say, like he's just persistent, man. Like very few people, he gets his flowers, like no matter what you want to say about him, if you like what he's doing or not. Like he gets up, he goes at it, man, every day. It's like he's relentless. I mean, when it comes to his work, I mean, you got to give him that. And so, I think yeah, Chill House was like, hey, F you and F base or something like that, and then he responds just ratio. Unfortunately, like the numbers didn't play that out, right? Like he wasn't actually getting the ratio, and then Kobe steps in, is like, am I going to have to show you how to
Yeah.
do this? And they're just going back and forth about it. And now it's like the token on Solana is blowing up, and it turns into this thing where basically everyone's like, why are you helping a Solana token basically? And then of course Jesse's just like, he's for everybody. He wants us all to eat. He wants everyone to eat, right? So
Right.
yeah, interesting thing to watch on the timeline. And but it's classic. It's a classic Jesse moment. Like he's not gonna fold with criticism. He's gonna double down. He's gonna fight you with positivity. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, what a week for base so far. There's also been, we were going to mention a couple other things, I believe, on the news side, but just as a very
Yeah,
brief mention, the base app also went through another update for the beta users, which is um, significant. Actually, it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot smoother. Things have moved around a little bit. They're taking the feedback well and adjusting. And what do we got? Like I think there's like 50,000 users on there right now because it's in beta, and they've got like over 2 million people on the wait list. So they got to make sure everything's ready to go. My prediction is I'm going to go with like Christmas. I think we're going to see a wide open base app around Christmas time, but we'll see.
gotcha. Yeah, and that's I was just teeing up. Another thing in the news here is the X402 protocol, or command, or you know what it does. X402 has been a big deal this week. I think um, you probably know better than me. There wasn't there a couple of tokens, Ping, and there was another one I think that launched.
I missed them all, so I don't know.
Yeah, me too. Of course. I'm not smart enough to keep up with this stuff when it comes out. I have to be 3 or 4 days behind. Um, in layman's terms, the best I understand, which I do roughly, um, you know, pings are sent to APIs and programming, and you've been to a website before and seen a 404, a code 404, which means unable to return information, and then there's a code 200, which means everything is good. And then 402 was always a payment command, and it never really was used. And now with the X402 protocol, which was basically, I believe some programmers at Coinbase started working with a way um, to settle payments via the HTTP protocol without interference. And so they're able to um, pair those things together with this, what they're calling X402. So they pulled out the 402 and they're using that protocol to make this happen. Um, and what that means is that AI agents and programming can now correspond and work directly with APIs without an intermediary. So there doesn't have to be human interaction anymore that approves these payments, that approves these charges and fees for the APIs, for the endpoints, things like that. And so it's one of those things that's it's everywhere. When I look at it the last few days, I'm seeing everybody talking about 402s. I think about 10% have any clue what the fuck it is, but they're going to make money off of it one way or another, because this is what we
Yeah.
do.
I
And
love I
so
love the DJ mentality is like, well, whatever this is, let's just launch NFTs. Like,
yeah,
let's
or
just
launch tokens. Yeah,
let's
yeah,
just launch some stuff around it and let people pay with it. I mean, you got to test the new tech, right? You got to figure out how it all works, and one way to do that is just to launch an NFT collection that you've apparently been waiting to launch, and now you got a reason to jump on it, right?
right,
Uh, I don't
right.
know how does that work with. I wonder how that works. Like you're using this type of I guess protocol or whatever to mint NFTs, but what makes that, I guess, just being first or being early to that new payment layer, I guess, would be one way to put it. I
I'm
think,
gonna be honest. Like, it's a hard thing to it's a hard thing for me to grasp, because my mind tends to lean more toward creative aspects of Web3 and creative aspects in general. I hate math, and always have, and so when it comes to things like this, it gets so technical so quick that my mind just says, yeah, my mind just tunes out. My mind's just like, yeah, I've had enough of it. And unfortunately, I miss an enormous amount of huge financial plays because of that, because th- there's just so much information in Web3 every day, and so much information with all the protocols coming out, and the new technology coming out every single day, that it's like you get overwhelmed keeping up with it, and you have to remind yourself, just to focus on the parts you're interested in, because if not, you will get overwhelmed. But this is an interesting one. We'll see what happens with it. I always told you which is not my favorite thing about Coinbase at all. I always felt like Coinbase was trying to be the payment processor of crypto. They wanted to be the quote unquote bank of crypto, and I always hated that, because the whole point of crypto was to remove banks, to remove that intermediary who could control your money, who could mess with your money, who could delay your money or get in between you and what you're building. And so that always bothered me really bad, and it still does with crypto, like with Coinbase. Like I hate the fact that they launched a Coinbase credit card, because it doesn't get more TradFi than that. I don't care if they're giving Bitcoin rewards; it doesn't matter. It's not what this industry was really built on. Um, I, I'm not saying that they're bad overall. I'm just saying that, like, for me, one of the worst things I ever saw was when PayPal teamed up with Base to do some stuff, and I'm just like, I literally came to crypto because I hated PayPal so much. That's literally what drove me to crypto as a payment system. I liked the blockchain tech, but as a payment system, anybody that dealt with PayPal between probably the year 2000 and 2012, every time you got a payment over $1,000, they locked it up for 180 days. It was just ridiculous. Like, they were just robbing people, and to see them come into crypto makes me sick to my stomach. Like, I just, those kind of things are the exact opposite reason we're building this, is to partner with those companies, in my opinion. But hey, it is what it is, and everybody can do what they want, or choose who they want to deal with. And so yeah, cool stuff there.
I feel like it's just one of those things where, you know, yeah, because I remember even just back whenever I first came over to base, like coming over from, mostly, I think 95% of everything I did was on mainnet, Ethereum. But when I did Launchpad stuff, we did some stuff on Polygon, and we had like reasons we'd use Polygon, or like if someone came to us and wants to launch on AVAX or another chain, we'd always have these conversations about like, okay, well, why this chain, why that chain, what's the goal, like why, you don't want to just launch on another chain to do it. Like there has to be a reason. Back then it was like, for gas, for example, like of course that makes sense. You want to have a cheap mint, so you want to go to Polygon, or whatever. And we'd always have these conversations about the different chains. And I remember distinctively, I had taken a break, probably about a month or so break from crypto, because I had a lot of stuff happening in life. And then when I came back, the NFT side was, had already been pretty rough, and people had moved on to meme coins. And so I was like, all right, well, let's figure out where to go and do meme coins. And I did spend some time on Solana and like kind of doing all this stuff. And then I remember the first Base token that came along, hey, we're going to do this on Base, and invited me in and start showing me stuff. And I was like, why the hell are we doing this on Coinbase's chain? Like Coinbase are like the feds, it's like the Fed chain. Like, what are we doing? And and it took me some time, but then I realized, it's like kind of to your point. On one hand, yeah, they're becoming, the payment processor, and like there's going to have to be this sort of like corporate approach and this regulation approach and all these things. But I don't know, man, we've got to get to the other side of it where, all of those things, it's like, I call it like, I know it's cliche, but it's kind of the Trojan horse effect. Like you partner up with the Stripes and the PayPals, and you put out these products that are more, I guess, familiar to the average person. You slip the crypto in, you get them hooked, and then you say, okay, now if you want to do cool stuff, you come to DeFi. You want to make,
Right.
if you want to do more culture stuff, like you're not going to do meme coins on your Coinbase credit card, like stuff like that, right? So, we got to kind of, unfortunately, like, the average person doesn't really know much more past Bitcoin. Maybe their last big push was like when Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live and they bought Dogecoin, and then got absolutely destroyed because it just tanked after that. But now we've got to figure out ways to get them interested. So putting it in their 401k,
Yeah,
and
we need a Trump stimmy.
yeah, yeah, dude, I've been calling for a pandemic for a while. People think I'm crazy, but man, we just need a solid, nothing too, deadly, but keep everybody indoors for about 6 months, and we will have the run of our lifetimes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, not help, not
Yeah. Well,
health advice.
let's move on. Let's move on because you know what we could do? We could bet on that. We could bet on whether we're going to get a stimmy this month or this year or next year or whether there's going to be a pandemic um, because prediction markets have exploded this year and they're all the talk lately. They've dominated for the last 3 or 4 months everything. Um, and I didn't have a good account pulled up here. I'm not saying this ain't a good account, but I didn't have a preloaded account pulled up here, and so I just looked here, but Polymarket is going to they've announced that they're 100% going to launch a token at some point. So queue up the farmers again. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Polymarket farming, a lot of trade activity,
I thought
and
they already had a token. That's why this is news to me. So what am I thought they already had some kind of token out, but
no, no, I don't believe they have any token at all. And they are going to do an airdrop.
okay.
Either that or they have a token and they're just going to do an airdrop.
Okay.
Um, I can't remember. I'm not too versed
The
in
only
their
reason
back.
I think they had a token is I have used the banker bot to make some bets and the token is
Yeah.
wrapped POL. So I thought that was their token
Well,
already.
no, no. So POL is what Matic was. So Polygon switched their token to um, Matic, from Matic to POL. So
Oh, dude, I don't.
so
That's how far behind I am on that. I didn't
yeah, yeah,
know
yeah.
that they
Yeah,
changed the
so
name of that.
Matic is defunct. It's no longer a token. POL is Polygon's
Oh,
native token.
I just look like a goofball,
As a
but I
matter of
haven't.
fact, I think I just saw something yesterday about that Coinbase just got all of their Matic finally switched over to POL
Dude,
yesterday.
I still, yeah, I was still thinking it was Matic after all that time. That's crazy. So, oh, okay,
Yep,
that makes sense. So it's just Polygon now.
yep, it's just Polygon now. So
Well, that's actually better. I remember back whenever I was uh messing around with Polygon a lot, I was always like, why do they have Polygon and Matic? Like, why did they call it that? But I'm sure there's a whole backstory there, and I'm glad they cleaned it up because it's strange, kind of a strange thing to have to explain to.
I didn't have that on the list to talk about today, but that kind of came out yet last week too. Sandy the founder of Polygon put out an open letter to Vitalik about the lack of support they've gotten, things like that from the Ethereum Foundation, and Vitalik responded very appropriately that they're not doing enough, that they should be doing more. And Polygon is a unique chain. Polygon is not a traditional layer two. It's more of a layer one. It is a fork of Ethereum. It's not a second layer on Ethereum. A lot of people think about Polygon as a layer two, but it's not. And they've kind of embraced the layer two um, vibes. I mean, I guess that's what you would say. Um, when they could go off and just be their own layer one, and I believe they've discussed that and they've thought about it, and it would probably open a lot of opportunities for them, but it would change a few things as well. And so yeah, unique thing with Polygon and Poly markets, and I think that's super cool. And let's see here.
Yeah, Polymarket's big deal, man. It's definitely transcending the whole on-chain, crypto side. It feels like even Kalshi, like both those products, people are just talking about them as if they're part of the normal vernacular, which is what we wanted, right? Those are the things that are cracking through to,
Right,
people.
and I didn't even see this till yesterday. That this is again why it's so hard to keep up with everything. And we talked yesterday about how important it was going to be for these Monday streams to start bringing a guest on with us every week, and it's because everybody, you just can't keep up with everything. And
Mm,
so we need to start bringing on a guest every Monday that is
dialed in.
deep in the DeFi trenches, deep in some of these things that we may not be as deep in, um, because there is so much going on there. And uh, yeah, it's just tough. It's just tough to keep up with. And so
Mm.
um,
There's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, you can literally find, there's all kinds of stuff happening. We'll always you could get the most dialed in person. You're gonna miss some
Oh
things
yeah,
because there's
yeah,
just so much. But I think, if we can talk about the things that are on our radar, and yeah, if we could bring in someone every week to kind of help guest, sort of like a panel,
yeah,
that comes in and chats with us. Um, and then maybe there's somebody who does more, of this or that, and we can hear from their side of, how things are going. But yeah, 100%, agree that, there's only so much the two of us could keep up with, especially when we're also building stuff, and like we have
yeah,
our own we have our own agenda, so to speak, that we, aren't even talking about on these streams yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah, yeah.
This is output, by the way. I don't think I said that at the top. Output, right? We have like our format. Output is it's where we're putting out the news and the updates, right? But like then we also have
Yeah,
origins.
just typically giving horrible takes on what's happening in Web3.
Yeah, and you get to hear me kind of. I think throughout the stream, you'll kind of, especially if we keep, this time, you'll hear me kind of waking up throughout the hour, because it'll start out like, my
Yeah,
brain's not there yet. But
Monday's
Cat,
definitely our early stream every week. Our Wednesday night stream is in the evening, and our Friday streams in the afternoon. So, uh, we figure there's a good old saying I've always heard is, sharks don't care if it's Monday. They just get up and bite shit anyway. And so we kind of got to be in that mentality is, Monday mornings, who cares? Let's just get up and go. And there's no better way to start the day or get this over with than just to get up and get on. Um, but yeah, I move on to a couple other things that I've seen on the timeline this week when it comes to DeFi. Of course, Aster is still being talked about a lot. Hyperliquid is still being talked about a lot. But this week I saw a lot about Zcash. A lot of people getting into Zcash, which I think is absolutely horrible. I hate Zcash. Monero fanboy all the way. Zcash. My problem with Zcash is it has a mechanism where you can unhide transactions, and so it has voluntary privacy. And so anytime you have something that can voluntarily be exposed, you have a vector for somebody to expose it. So where Monero doesn't have that. Monero is totally secure and 100% private, but Zcash is a privacy choice token or coin. I guess is how you would explain it. So you can keep it private or make it public. But anytime you can make something public, that gives a way for somebody else to make your stuff public. And
mm,
so never been a fan of Zcash. Token's doing good this week. I know Thread Guy and some other people have been on and on about it. Token's been doing really well, but not a fan. What about you? You own any Zcash? You got any hidden money from the government you want to
I
admit on
should.
camera here?
No, I probably should, but all of that kind of stuff is not something that I've ever really fully embraced. I probably should, because that was the original goal, right? To kind of separate, our financial system from
Yeah, I
the
need to look into. I know
control of
when
our government. But I
I
feel
know
like
when McAfee died, he was working on something.
yeah,
Maybe it was called Ghost. I don't remember what it was called. I need to look into that. But he was working on some kind of secure crypto protocol. Probably pretty cool. It's probably why they killed him because we know they killed him too. So we
probably,
we
yeah.
know that was staged 1,000%. So yeah, so Zcash,
He could still be alive. He could be.
bro, I don't think so because I had the pleasure of meeting him, one time, and he was the same guy you saw on the internet. He was absolutely insane,
Mm,
and I loved it. I think that he's part of the reason crypto did what it did. Um, absolutely insane guy. But anyway, but yeah, let's move on. Another thing happening this weekend, and we don't talk about this kind of stuff very much anymore with NFTs, is Ape Fest was this weekend in Las Vegas. Um, anybody with a Bored Ape, Ape Fest is kind of the event every year. I think they have a couple of them now. I think they have one in Portugal, and they have a couple of them, but this one was in Vegas. Pretty big deal. They announced a partnership with Amazon Gaming,
Hmm.
as well as, strangely enough, a partnership with Machi Big Brother. A lot of apes dislike Machi because he farmed Blur and ran apes into the ground, and a lot of people think he destroyed their value. A lot of people think he's not a good guy, but Bored Apes have officially partnered with him to create Bored Ape Studios, an anime studio that's going to be producing anime content.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find the post here. I'm sure it's here somewhere. But yeah, it's they posted a trailer for it. Um, let's see here. I know it's got to be here. But yeah, I've been seeing posts all over my timeline. My neighbor actually owns a couple of Bored Apes, him and his wife, and so I get the Bored Ape uh, news all the time anyway. Um, let's see here.
No, I should. I don't know. It's probably too early. I'll say I can call Fiddy right now. Maybe he'll know the.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's they did partner with I know because a lot of the comments were were really rough about it, about how can you partner with Machi after everything he's done to the apes. But I guess you could look at that both ways. Did he hurt the apes, or did he help the apes by keeping demand there when there was none, by farming them so much? I have my personal feelings about Blur and kind of what it did to NFTs, and took uh this whole fun art vibe and financialized it to the point that it just ran almost everything into the ground, because it really put the financial side to the forefront and took the art side off. And so I have uh, there it is right here.
So you're gonna
Bored Ape
you're gonna give me
Studios, a joint
a
venture
teaser.
between Yuga and Machi Big Brother 6 Studios.
Holy cow.
And it's a it's pretty cool that the apes look a little more anime style, look a little less like, I think that's Curtis, isn't that his name, Curtis the
Yeah.
ape?
Yeah.
Uh, but he's got a lot more, when you look at him, he's a lot more anime looking.
Yep. Oh, even the dog. Nice. Okay. That's pretty dope. You got to give it. You got to give him all the flowers, man. The fucking Bored Ape Yacht Club. Uh, just grinding out. They had a lot of leadership changes. It seems like over the past year and or so, and um, you're starting to see it. I think finally they're starting to kind of figure out their footing as to what they want to do with all this money and all this attention that they've garnered. I don't know how's the other side looking. Was there? I know that's actually a part of the Amazon deal, right? Like they're
Yeah, so they're coming out with some kind of character called Boximus Prime or Boximus, or
yeah.
it's some weird boxy character. I'm not sure why they didn't just use an ape. That's weird. But they created this character, I believe, for other side. So maybe it works something like the way Fortnite skins work. And
Mhm.
the way in Fortnite, there's every character in the world's been put in Fortnite at some point. Maybe this is the Amazon character for the other side. Um, but yeah, when you look at it, like just back to the Machi thing for a minute, you can see the first comment is, this guy saying, you know, Machi caused undeniable damage and this and that and this and that. And then of course Machi being Machi says, don't be stupid. and
Oh, he's a
um
funny guy.
yeah, but um the thing about Yuga is they raised an enormous amount of money in 2022, 2023 between other side, other deeds, uh, codas, heavy metal, like between everything they did, and plus the venture money, the trade fees from Bored Apes, the Mutant Apes, like man, they raised so much money. They should be sitting on like $7 trillion to build anything they want to build. And so
Trillion.
I know it takes time, but I'm actually surprised they haven't gotten more out. Me personally, like I'm surprised that more is not out. I think a lot of apes probably feel that same way. And a lot of apes are still in it just for the vibe, because it was it was the first
What's
real
the
PFP.
what's the floor on an ape right now? Did Ape Fest move the floor pretty
Uh,
good?
no, actually, I saw Beanie say something about that yesterday about how, um, such a good conference. All this stuff happened, and apes went up literally like less than 1% in floor value.
Yeah, that's hard.
And
They also, I think I saw they also got into a partnership with BMW.
yeah. BMW got an ape. They have an ape named Max now. I think is what his name was Max. Um,
Pretty big. It's a pretty big
so
deal
yeah,
too.
so that was a big deal. And then um, moving back to um, these early stage NFT projects that are still around, still building, still doing things. Um, you also have, of course, Pudgy, which
Oh yeah.
which
Love
has
to see it.
announced a partnership with or a collaboration with Kung Fu Panda, which is an absolutely enormous deal. And
Huge.
Luca has done so much with Pudgy, and he's everybody knows Luca's story, and he's done a lot, and just a lot of the connections he keeps making for Pudgy is just insane. But yeah, Pingu is going to enter into the world of Kung Fu Panda. I don't know how that's going to play out. Should be pretty cool though.
Kung
Um,
Fu Panda has like, well, obviously they have their movies, but they have like other kind of like, short animations that they put out, around holidays, that kind of stuff. So I would expect to see something like that.
right.
But I don't know. They're killing it, man. You're right. Like I mean, probably the best NFTs. I mean, we just talked about Bored Apes. Like, they sort of like owned the NFT space. Everybody wanted to be a Bored Ape. Everybody wanted to emulate Bored Apes. But I think, looking back and even now, the story from Pudgy, from Luca coming in and, taking a brand that was established and then just like taking it to the next level, probably the best in I guess if you want to call it Web3 or whatever, on chain NFT space, whatever. I mean, even just as far as branding goes and like becoming mainstream, I mean, yeah, Doodles, Bored Apes, and Pudgy, that have sort of led that. Um, and I think I got to give it to Luca as far as just the way that he's gone through and made all of these brand connections and putting that character out there. It's just he's killing it, man. Got to be the top dog in that the
Yep.
history books here so far.
Yeah. Pudgy with everything they're doing. Bored Ape, they're constantly delivering. I think everybody expects so much of them that even if you took even some of their minor accomplishments and slapped that on any other NFT, the floor would triple, quadruple, just skyrocket. But people are just so used to the yacht club. And that's something else is they announced the actual build out of the Miami Yacht Club would be start in January. Um, so that's really cool. They actually um, will be launching the yacht club, and I believe it said there were parts of the yacht club that would only be available to holders and parts that would be just a public club.
Hmm.
uh, and so that's really cool, and I wonder if that's, I mean, I'm assuming that if you're a mutant ape holder, you're a holder, like
Yeah.
is that I mean, mutant apes
Maybe,
are apes, right?
yeah.
So
Maybe it's part of the, maybe it's tiered out or something. I don't know. But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, what's the mutant is that the mutants are around a ETH last I looked. Are they going up? You got to think like maybe the collections are like, to move the Bored Ape floor is pretty hard. That's a lot. But
I
I would
don't know.
imagine
Let's see.
this, since
Um,
it's like the lower barrier of entry, I bet the mutant apes have gone up. Have they gone up?
Mutant apes
Wow.
are floor price is a little less than 1 ETH.
Wow. So they
Yep.
didn't budge.
Yep. And
Look,
so
I'll tell you the truth, man. I've there's always some outliers, but man, it's hard to buy a mutant ape for me sometimes because I'll
oh,
have the
dude,
miss. I'll have
you
the
know me.
funds on, and I'll say, okay, it's time for me to finally just grab one, and maybe I will just grab one. Like that one, it's like number two. He's not bad. He's got like he's got a good vibe to him, but just some of them are just so hard to stomach, man. Like the art just doesn't hit for me sometimes, and
Yeah, it doesn't hit. I think it. I think it didn't hit for a lot of people, just because it's visually so unappealing. It's everything that we're not supposed to find attractive, and I already have a problem with the way shit looks. I have a lot of these autism tics that like I forget what they're all called, like the way stuff feels. I have texture issues. I have visual issues, and it extends to from not just from art, but from people, the way people look. Like I have a real problem with the way some people look, which
mm,
is fucking bizarre, but it's what it is. But yeah, mutants have always been one of those things, and I've owned a lot of them, but I've never really worn one as a PFP just because I can't stomach looking at it all day, and so
yeah.
very
There's a
weird.
couple of decent ones. Like the cleaner, the better for me on these. Like the less is more for sure.
Yeah, and
But
and another, while we're on NFTs, another project that Yuga used to own that is now in the hands of Spencer. Um, you know, I don't know a lot about Spencer. I know he's a very, very respected person in Web3. I know he's a very capable person from what I hear. And they Orange Cap Games and those guys got ownership of the Moonbirds IP. And they've really um they've really done well um, in let's see, let's check the last 30 days. They had a spike up to 4.5 ETH before coming back down to 2. Um, but they were at one time around an ETH or a little under an ETH, I think.
yeah,
Um, I still remember when Pudgies were less than half an ETH, and I was like, I should really load up here, but I didn't. So Moonbirds is another outlier that may have the potential to eventually um, get up there and touch the price of Bored Apes or Pudgy. And then of course you got the classic, which is if I had to have my pick of underpriced NFTs right now, this is it. Is Doodles. Less than 3/4 of an ETH for a Doodle now.
I love the art on these. But it's for some reason it's another one. I have like I don't have autism or anything like that, but I have like an aversion to buying PFP. Like if I'm buying for a PFP, I need it to look not like me necessarily, like not the
But
same
you
as
need it
me.
to you need to relate to it really hard. And
Yes,
so
and so I have a hard time. The bearded ones in here, like there's a handful of them where I'm like, okay, there's a beard, I can do it, I can do that. But it's just hard, man. Like it's hard for me to find one that I'm like, okay, I can be this. This could be me. Like look at the one with the beard right there. That's just not going to be me. I don't have Afro puffs. It's not me.
yeah,
Um,
I think those are called space buns, bro. I don't think those are Afro puffs. I think those are space
dude, do you
buns.
remember the song "I Rock Rough and Stuff with My Afro Puffs"? It's like a '90s song, like a legit. She had Afro puffs. I don't know. That's how I look at them. That's
Let
not being culturally insensitive. I actually dig the song, but
Oh, they just call it puff balls.
okay,
So,
so they are puffs. I mean, but
yeah.
that's what she called them in the video, the song uh, back in the '90s. Um, I don't know. And then like it is what it is, dude. I do love the art, the aesthetic. It's one of the best feeling kind of combinations of colors. I think you being an artist, you can probably talk about palettes and finding one that some of these collections, like there's some decent collections out there where you start looking at the colors and you're just like, oh, this is just awful, like the way
Let's
they
just,
put it together.
and with NFTs, it was a matter of sometimes stuff just hit, and when it hit, it did really well. And Doodles just between the color, between what they did, it just hit for a lot of people. And it didn't hit for me. I minted a bunch of them, sold them way early. Um, but I had friends who minted them, and they held them all the way up to I can't remember what the floor was at one time, 60 or $70,000. Like it was high. Um, and that's I guess my one other outlier that I like lately is the old ON1. Um, I think was
I've always said Oni Force. Is that not? I know it's ON1.
I don't know. I've just always called it ON1. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I've never listened to any of them speak or been to any of
I
their
don't know.
meetings.
I always make up my own version of it, and sometimes
Yeah,
I'm right, sometimes I'm
but
wrong.
it was like
I don't know. A lot
it
of
was
people
another
call
one of those.
some people
It was
call
another one of those that was
Ethereum,
super unique.
they refer to it as ETH or WETH,
Yeah,
and I'm like, we're not the same.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
ETH, dude. Like it's WETH.
yeah. It's ETH. The end. It's ETH. Yeah,
What are you talking about?
yeah.
Uh,
And I
I
actually
know.
have an aversion to people calling it ether. I don't like people calling it ether.
I don't know
It's
who
like,
calls it
bro,
that.
it's just ETH. Quit calling it ether.
That's a weird way
Uh,
to refer to something. But
um,
yeah, this collection always stood out to me as well. Another good palette, sort of combination of colors. I know you love the style, the anime approach.
yeah,
Uh,
and I've seen some stuff from them lately, hinting at some big things to come. I know they did a ordinal drop last year or the year before, that was pretty cool looking. But for their floor price, I think they're a cool collection that I've seen people mentioning on my timeline in the last week or so of possible things coming. So who knows? Not financial advice whatsoever. Buy what you like. Um, but yeah, I think that's about this week in our fucking bubble. I'm not sure what else we got to discuss for this week.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to do this. All right, so we got on Zora. I saw some people were saying let's go. CryptoCat, who's like our whale, says let's go. Good to see you in the chat. Cubby said hello. Epiphany, our wonderful uh, team member, says GM. We got Broken Reality, Dan GM. He's laughing at the squiggly lines stuff that the expert TA that we gave.
Yeah, yeah.
Good morning for Million Bit.
I'm officially a quant now.
Yeah, I think you gotta add that to your resume.
Yeah, officially.
Dance Kid, who's always always saying what's up, said hello. So yeah, good to see everybody this morning. This is like I guess the first official stream, so I think we did a great job format wise. We went through the news. I know there was a lot covered. We try to keep it broad, right? Like it's a full spectrum uh, approach. We want to talk about everything we can that's going on chain. Not just in our echo chamber, but like trying to get outside of it a little bit here. So I think we did a good job of that.
Yeah, and
Hopefully,
I think we'll continue to get better. I think our practice show last Friday, we were just getting comfortable being on screen. It's a little different than being on a Twitter space. Actually seeing yourself and trying to switch between screenshots and take care of things is a little bit different. Um, but yeah, I think it went well. I think it's good. I think we'll have a good space on. So Wednesday is our next stream. Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is our origin stream. And who do we have on that one? Quigley this week. Who do we have on?
oh, you want me to announce that? We haven't
Yeah,
even posted it.
absolutely. Announce it.
All right. So for our first guest, we will have Ibu from the Docker team in Folks Finance. Also happens to be the number one token on Zora right now. So it kind of made sense for us since we are as part of this journey that everyone's taken with us. We're trying to show that we can do this on Zora, create this coin, and have the experience that maybe just, I mean, yes, we could do, there's lots of stuff we can do. Like we have devs, we have people that could build stuff. I've gotten invites to a lot of different groups and tools that people are building, and we're excited to look at all that eventually. But we're really just trying to show how two guys could come in here, put up a decent, quality, good stream, and give people a chance to like, get to know us, and then also at the same time show that hey, anybody could do this. Frankly, I mean, anybody could come in if you're a streamer.
If we can do it, anybody can do it.
Right. I mean, I try not to make us sound like complete morons, but yeah, like if we can make this work and make it make sense from a creator standpoint, we want to build this sort of like framework for other people to come in and add, add their 2 cents. And I feel like that's what I'm excited about. And we'll be talking to Ibu from Docker about his journey. So mostly we focused on him and his story and like where he's coming from. And then of course, as time allows, we'll talk about Creator Coins and how he views what we're doing and how he views what other people are doing, to prove that this concept can work and this model can work for creators. Regardless of maybe your medium. In our case, we're using our streaming platform to experiment, but we need to show that this works without having to do.
And it's not, and to be fair, it's not this is not some grand Zora experiment. We had a plan to shift focus from X Spaces, Twitter Spaces, to a live stream or a podcast of some sort. And we said, fuck it, let's just go with it. Let's embrace, not necessarily embrace Zora, but if we're going to launch it, let's launch it with Zora's streaming beta and see how it works, and that way we can give a real take on how we feel about it. And so far for me, we did have a little reach on base beforehand, and so that probably helped us a lot compared to just anybody signing up for an account.
Yeah.
And so in the first, I can say all this because it's all public. In the first 4 days, we created the coin 4 days ago. This is our first official stream. We have a market cap of 105,000 on our creator coin. We've done $410,000 in volume, 187 holders, and in 4 days we have earned $2,062. And so if you look at this from a creator's perspective, and you wonder, hey, can enough money be made to make this worth it? Because that's always been my concern, is like, I have another account that is another Zora creator coin, and it's been posting for 2 months now, a month and a half now, and has made like less than $100. And I told you, I said, how are creators supposed to live on that? If this is what you're trying to pitch to creators, is to come here and use our platform to make $100 a month. I mean, I guess for some people like that just are looking to do it anyway, it's worth it. But if you're a creator, I felt like it was disingenuous to promote it as, hey, come here and you'll get paid to create, because you're really not in most cases. Now with this, we've been paid the last 4 days, and $2,000 in 4 days, that's like $500 a day. That's I'm sure most creators and most people starting a new stream or starting something, or artist or photographer, if they're just coming over here and it was that easy, $500 a day is really good. You know what I mean? $500 for a beginner is really good. Again, we had a market, we had an audience already. I don't know how much that did or didn't help. And so we'll find out through clipping and through adding more content to Zora, and through doing these live streams on Zora, where the value comes from. Hopefully we can share that with you guys every week, of where we're sitting on Zora. We're also streaming to X, of course. And starting next week, we will actually be posting our clips and full streams onto YouTube as well. And so we'll be able to really talk about from the beginning, was Zora a factor in monetizing this stream? Was Zora a factor in helping it become popular? Like what actually help does this whole content coin give? And we're trying to be very organic with that by not creating any kind of flywheels or any kind of this and that, because I'm a believer that if you're going to bring people from TikTok or from the other side of Twitter or from Facebook or from Instagram, and you're going to bring them here and say, hey, be a creator on Zora because you can earn money, and then you expect them to spend all this money creating this flywheel and these deck screener updates, and we have done that, but but you ask them to create all this stuff and join 900 different protocols to promote their coin, and then get bitched at every time the coin goes down, or not understand whether they need to sell or save their token, or when you bring in people over to understand this, there's got to be a solution that's just as simple as go to Zora, create a coin, and do your content. And if that becomes an efficient way to where the cream of the crop will always rise to the top, so the best creators are always going to move up, and they're always going to have the most value in any environment. And so it's just to see who is going to be the best creators, how high they can go, and what the realistic expectations of that is. And if you get people over here who can start a stream and get paid that same day, compared to like, well, on TikTok you have to have 10,000 followers and have to have 500 TikToks.
Yeah.
They have to be over a minute a piece, and you don't have to have any of that here. All you got to do is create the account and stream, and by that afternoon you could literally cash out money. That's a huge thing for creators, but we'll see if it works. I'm a big doubter in creator coins overall, because of the extensive amount of extras you have to put into it. I know you're much more optimistic about them than I am. And of course, Jesse is much more optimistic about them than I am. There are other people who are less optimistic than me. I'm willing to give it a try and a fair shake and see how it does. So we'll keep this journey going, and give you guys an update every Monday on kind of where we're at and how it's going.
Yeah, not to get too far into it, but today, so when it comes to these creator coins, like I feel like you're right. Like the draw is, if you're going to start day zero on Zora or TikTok, you go to TikTok, you make content, nobody sees it. It's going to take, either really good luck, like you might have a lucky post that just blows you up right away. But most likely you're going to have to grind and like work and eventually build yourself up to a certain point. Or you're already famous and you just make a TikTok and it blows up. Like, there's different ways you can look at it. And you come to Zora and it's the same exact model, only you instantly see the financial side, because there's no pause in that. So the $1 or $2 or even $100 that you make as a new creator on Zora doesn't seem like much, but it's a lot more than zero, which you'll get for, probably a year or two on TikTok, unless you, again, are lucky. But if you have that same head start, sorry, the cat jumped on the table, so everything's shaking. But if you had that same head start on Zora, kind of like we have, like we talked about how we already had sort of a little more of a platform, so to speak, on base and whatnot, that kind of gave us a boost. You can see a little bit of a difference there. So when somebody who's already a famous, artist or creator, content maker comes onto Zora, they're going to get a boost versus the average person who's going to have to work and work and work, and then, eventually, make $20 a day or $100 a day, which again, it depends on what part of the world you're in. It depends on what your goals are, what kind of creator you are, what your expectations are. Is it just side money? Because like there's some people that spend, 100 hours a week on social media making nothing, and it's just their obsession. They're chronically online. It's their social outlet. But if
some people just stream anyway. Like there's tons of streamers on Twitch and Kick and everywhere else that just stream, and they make it no money. They make zero.
Exactly. And then, so if those people start making a couple $100 and they're like, well, I got a couple $100, I can, go do something with it, or maybe take my family out to dinner or whatever. It becomes a thing where the average person does have an opportunity to do something on chain, to do something different than just being we talk about extractors in Web3 or whatever. They're definitely here. I mean, people are literally here farming us every day, of course, but they're nowhere near the amount. They have nowhere near the amount of like farming as these corporations that own, Facebook, even Twitter, TikTok. They're really farming us, right? Like they're making
and they're
billions and billions of dollars.
And that's probably my biggest pro when it comes to Zora or a platform like that, or crypto in general, is the barrier to entry is immediate. So you don't have to, with Twitch and some of those other ones, I'm not sure because I'm not a streamer like that, but I believe you have to become part of their creator programs
Yeah.
to monetize your streams. Same with TikTok, same with YouTube. They can take away monetization at any time. It can't happen here because it's my coin. It's our coin. They can't take it away from us at all. And so I think that's my biggest pro when it comes to this is I guess I'm much more a fan of creator coins than I am the content everything fucking idea. Like I don't think everything needs coined. Um, I kind of wish that you could choose on Zora when you make a post whether you wanted to coin it or not, because it's kind of bizarre to me that our weekly podcast schedule needs to be coined. Like when I posted on Zora, like why does that image of our weekly podcast schedule need to
See,
have a coin?
I actually think that's a good one to coin because I want to like figure out how I can take those tokens and like airdrop them to all my friends. Hey, here's our schedule. Now you got it. It's
Yeah,
kind of
but
like an NFT.
now you're starting all that flywheel bullshit.
But
And
it's
we're
like an
not
NFT thing. Like we used to have like NFTs that were free or like super cheap, a couple pennies, and then
right,
we'd use
like
those to do airdrop.
commemorative NFT of some kind.
Yeah, so I feel like it's the same kind of concept. We're just putting, it might be a market cap of $1,000, for this content coin. So we can for like $20 get, millions of tokens, and then we can just send them all out to all of our friends and be like, here's our weekly schedule. Now it's stuck in your wallet, and you have to see it, as a token. But yeah, I get it, man. Like, so that's actually a good point you brought up, and I know we got to wind down here so soon, but the Base app has incorporated Zora into their app, right? And so when you post, it's essentially like a Farcaster client, and then everything you post on the Base app is also a coin, but you can opt out of that. So every time you post, you can just easily click on there if you want people to be able to buy it or not. So is it just going to be a standard post like it is on Twitter, or do you want to go ahead and monetize or tokenize that particular post? So they've taken what you're saying and sort of like bridged them together and said, okay, you can make it a Zora post or you cannot. And I think that's, to your point, like the way I would do it. I think you should be able to opt in and out, especially, when it comes to just like random, hey, what if I just want to say good morning? I don't need to coin every good morning, every single day, right? Like that doesn't make sense. And so my guess is, I mean, who knows? We know Zora and Base are really close. Jesse and Jacob are super close. They're obviously integrating it into the Base app. I mean, we may wake up one morning and the news is Zora has been acquired by Base to officially become one thing, right? Like,
Well,
so
I mean, Zora, Coinbase is an enormous investor in Zora, so
right.
So they might as well have already acquired them. But yeah, they're an enormous investor, enormous supporter. But we'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of that work together anyway, and yeah. So anyway, good talk today. I think this was a good first stream. I think it was fun. I think we went through some good stuff. I think it gives us a guideline of what to do every week and how to do it. Zora coin to 1 million today. Let's see.
Yeah, let's prove render that creator coins are the future of the on-chain economy, and you don't necessarily need to add all the bells and whistles and flywheels to do it. Let's run this one up.
What better way to prove it to me than to make me money?
Prove him wrong. Yeah,
prove me wrong. Absolutely. This is one of those times where I'll be thrilled to be proved wrong.
No, it's been good. It's been good talking with you both offline and now online, essentially, about what your thoughts are around it. I feel like having debate or conversation, asking questions about things is how you grow, and I'm looking forward to bringing one of the most bullish people on Creator Coins, which is Ibu, on Wednesday night, just so we can sort of hear his thoughts. And it doesn't have to be a debate, but we certainly can bring your concerns to him and see what his take is, and go ahead and go down that whole path. But yeah, I'm interested.
It has to be a debate. Like we can't be having none of this. That's one of the things about this whole situation is, I refuse to have streams that are the same as everybody else's, where the founder comes on and everybody talks nice to them about their project and this. No, we're going to talk about the rough stuff. We're going to talk about the hard questions and the shit they've been through, and we're going to call them out when they do something that we don't like or don't understand, and we're going to keep it real on this one.
Looking forward to it. Hope it's a great conversation Wednesday evening, at least evening for us. Yeah, man. Good first episode. Let's wrap it because it's not too long. I want people to be able to go back and listen without having to be here for an hour and a half. So for everyone on the Zora side for joining in, we appreciate you. And of course on X, shout out to all of y'all. I haven't had a chance to check out any of the comments on the X side. I'll be following up with y'all after soon. Are you playing the music? Are you?
Yeah, it's outro music, right?
Okay. All right. You trying to pull me off the stage?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Stay based.